What's up, fish tank people? FishTankTV.com, Dustin's Fish Tanks, bringing it to you with one of my favorite aquariums. This is the FLUVAL B26. Everybody likes things to come real quickly. Well, sometimes you gotta wait on stuff to get good. This is a video on patience. This is the about 16 months time lapse of this tank. I set it up in October of 2016, and here is where we are today in January of 2018. So check out this video. Do me a favor, if you like what we're doing, hit the subscribe button and drop me a comment on what you think about how this tank has evolved. Enjoy.
All right, time to do some work. Now I'm thinking about filling her up. I need to do some more work in here. Something to soften that. I could use some boost in there. I like the boost on the tree though. I think that's working well. See how I put that in there? You'll notice it's all the dark. I want to kind of get that dark. I like that dark red, so that matches. The dark red there and the boost that kind of matches the dark green there. So it's coming. Not bad. What will I stock it with? I'm going to put 100 cherry shrimp in it that are high grade, and then I'm going to put a couple of tiny, maybe a couple of little swordtails. That's it, or tiny little fish. Not really sure. And this is my tank, and I'm excited about it because it's one of the better scapes I've done. So definitely jacked about that. That beta fish kind of makes it. And the cherries. First and foremost, I love this tank because it's easy for me to work on. This is a FLUVAL B26, the B bow front, 26 gallon. I'm loving it because I can get into it very easily. Like I can just reach down and get almost all the way down. Whatever I don't reach down and get into, I have tweezers down here that I can get in and make adjustments to. So that's the first thing. If it's easy to work on, it's easy to do. One of the things I'm doing to make it easier on myself with this tank is this. And I learned this from Jeff Stensky, and Karen Randall scolded me like a bad child at the aquatic experience. I was working on it without the water out. She was like, take the water level down. So what I do is I've got a FLUVAL, it's the smaller canister filter. I want to say it's like the 101 or whatever, I don't know. The smaller one, not the FX series. And I just simply unplug it. I disconnect this right here, and I take it and I run it into a bucket. And there's my 5-gallon water change. I take the rest of it, I move this out here, put it down into here, and then this is 15 gallons right here. So I fill this up. So then now what that does is it takes it not all the way down, but down to about here. And then it's easy to work on. What am I working on? I'm working on the Bucephalandra tree. That's right, folks. Sunday, Species Sunday, Bucephalandra. I talked about it a while back. Bucephalandra is named after Bucephalus, the most famous horse in antiquity. Alexander the Great's horse. Alexander the Great made it. Oh, you missed this. I just dropped the snail down there. Alexander the Great was able to tame this horse. The horse trader came and brought it to the king and said it was wild, it can't be tamed. And he goes, if I can tame it, if I can't tame it, I'll pay you the ridiculous sum you want. He went on to win many battles with that horse. It had a black eye, or excuse me, it was black with a white spot on it. These plants, Bucephalandra, I don't know how well you can see it here. I'm using the junk camera, but has these tiny little crystal. It's got little crystals. It's little, just you can see it right there on that leaf right there. I'll zoom in on that. You can see how it's doing. And this has just been in here. This was all put on yesterday. So it's got the little dots, if you guys can see that. And it takes it a minute for it to do it. Look at that dark leaf right there. That's the leaf I'm talking about. A lot of really great reaction once it gets totally healthy. So I'm having a riot putting it on there. How did I do it? Well, what I do is I use this stuff. Coincidentally put the Christmas tree up yesterday, and I had a bunch of these. These are like a little electric ties. And I get it so they can go around the back. This way I would actually cut this in half, and I would use it. So you can see I've got them on there. A little unsightly, but once they get going, there's another snail fall. Once they get going, I'll actually try to remove them. But I've got the little bucephalandra tree here. It's started, okay? It's started. A couple of like artistic critiques on it. I absolutely love this bucephalandra right here. Don't ask me the name of it. It's darker. I've spread it out here, here, and here. But the problem is it's not natural looking. It's not really working. If I zoom out, you can see that I would like to have it all be uniform, just like a tree would be. So the tree would have all these different, or all these similar leaves. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to remove this right here, here, here. And I'm going to bring it down here to soften over here. You want another species. I've got this. I always butcher this. I tried talking about it in one of my sons. Junicus rippens right here. This is a native plant to the U.S. Don't ask me where in the U.S. But I've got it all throughout here, and I like the way it's kind of coming here. I'm going to move that boost over here like I said. I'm going to probably add some more of this plant right here to kind of pull the eye over this way. And then kind of have it soft. But if you notice, it's getting a little bit of a red tint to it, just a tiny bit, which means it's getting maximum photosynthesis. I'm going to talk to Mr. Steinbach about this as well. So yeah, I've got it happening here. I like what's going on here with this. I'm using a halide. You know, the FLUVAL lights that come with it, and they'll admit, they're just your standard like fish lights. They aren't meant to grow plants or whatever that come out of the box with this setup. So I am using an old school Coralife 150 watt metal halide. Look, halides are expensive. They are not cheap to run. You have to replace the bulbs every 6 months. But man, is the photosynthetic response fabulous on it. So you can see the little like crystallizing kind of on there, and the leaves on Boost. And look, Boost comes from like lower, like lighter light things. And Karen Randall was like, you know, they come from like lower. And I was like, yeah, but I run them under halides. And she's like, really? And I'm like, why not? Because you just get that reaction. I'm going to show you in the greenhouse in a minute. With this tank, what am I going to do? Well, it's easy to work on. I've got the boost tree. I'm only about a third of the way done with the boost tree. Like I said, I'm going to redo all that here. This I might change. It's actually a different variety than that, so I want them to be uniform, but I am going to tree it up. You got to watch how close you get to the top, or it will kind of dry out. When I'm working on it, by the way, I use a spray bottle, so I'll take it down low and I'll spray it out here. But what I'm going to do with this as far as fish, I'm going to leave it all red stuff. I've got these really sick fire shrimp in stock, and in my tanks for a change right here. These guys are really pretty wicked, so I'm going to do a ton of them. I've got the gold snails because I love the way that they move around, the golden mystery snails. I'm debating about doing all red stuff though, so I'll do the fire shrimp, and then I'll do the tiger nerite snails, and I'll do one red betta fish. So that is the FLUVAL B26.
There. Let's go over here to the wonderful B26 from our friends at FLUVAL. Notice the betta fish right here is totally about to slam a baby cherry, and I'm fine with that because I got enough fire shrimp in here that he can roll like that, including that little baby right there who could be in danger. You could be in danger, bro. But same concept here. 1, 2, 3. Notice the tree does not go all the way across, and in fact it comes out the top, which I like. I actually added this center branch there, which I think is a lot of fun. So with the hardscape here too, again, I've got the tank intentionally divided down, not going all the way across. I would have liked to have actually built this up in the back and had this tree be more coming out the side of a mountain, but it is what it is there. Notice the Madagascar lace, notice the boost, doing quite well. This tank gets very little maintenance, which I like. Bucephalandra in the center there, a couple of nice fire shrimp, so, and then the Juncus rippens. So that's a fun one there. You can see the water level's gone down. I was out of town last week, so the water level is down a little bit, and you can hear the filter running. This thing's powered by FLUVAL head to toe, with the exception of the lights. But this is running, and the water level is low. So I want to give a tour around kind of how this thing is set up and what I got going on, and a little update on the plant. So we're going to talk about the equipment. This plant right here is Junk Ass Rippens. I mean, how great of a name is that? Juncus Rippens. Totally growing. It's actually from the United States. Look at that big cherry shrimp right there. It's actually native to the United States, and it's been growing up and up and up. And I actually need to bring some of it out to the greenhouse and really get that going in the greenhouse, because I'm going to do some cuttings of it. And I can actually probably stand up and do that and show you guys that. But junk gas rippings has been a cool one. I like the contrast of it. And then I've got over here, I've got the baby tears. Now this is the hemianthus. This is the regular, not the dwarf baby tears. That's a big distinction, because the dwarf baby tears sucks and the big baby tears is awesome. When you think of foreground plants, think of like they're grown in the shallow of the water, right? So they're grown in like shallow water on the edge of a bank. So when you have to imitate that to really get a lot of light to them, because they're in shallow water, the light penetrates deep, quickly down through shallow water. So when you're like, I want a carpet, I want foreground plants, don't roll with the real high tanks, roll with the lower stuff, because you're gonna have better growth down there for sure. So I'm loving the baby tears down here. I'm loving the bucephalandra in here as well. The bucephalandra is doing really well. The bucephalandra is actually, you guys are asking the questions, the buce is actually what's on the tree right here, and I've got a bunch of different varieties of it. A couple of them up on my site too. So yeah, I've got a bunch of varieties of the bucephalandra up in here that I'm pretty pumped about. And it does really well. It does better under the ultraviolet light, which I'm getting from the halide. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But so there's the buce, there's the baby tears, and that's really it. I do have a Madagascar lace plant that you guys can check out. It's actually kind of gone into that dormant phase though. It's really kind of just faded away, and I'm a little sad about it, but it is what it is. Thank you, Christy, for the likes and shares, if you are liking this. And so the Madagascar lace has kind of fallen off a little bit, but you know, so whatever. The Madagascar lace has fallen off just a tad, but those have a dormant period, they come back. And then I've also got in here, let's see, I've got one big Apongeton in the back, but I'm gonna have to pick up the camera to show you guys that. So while I'm sitting here, yeah, I am really enjoying this tank. It has been neglected, but oh, I can't forget it. The Crenum calmistrata over here is totally awesome. So now I want to show what I'm going to do on this tank here. I'm going to attempt to just tilt this up a little bit. All right, so you guys can see that. Okay, so I've got this big jug above, and what I'm going to do with this giant jug is I've actually got it filled with water from my tap, and the tap water here it's been raining. It's got high chlorine in it, so I'm going to use this from our friends at FLUVAL. I got the Aqua Plus right here in the mix. And I'm going to take this stuff. Now I use the Aqua Plus, I use this right here. And I'm going to use, it says to use, and this is a big tip too. If it's been raining in your area, always use, I try to use double. So this says to remove chlorine, treats 5 milliliters, treats 10 gallons. So I'm going to use a whole 5 milliliters, even though I'm not adding 10 gallons to this, just because it has been raining. And when it rains here, they flood the lines. You see this? They flood the lines with chlorine and chloramine, so I'm going to add more than the usual here. So I'm going to use more of this stuff, because why not? I mean, when in doubt, add more. Better that than killing your fish, right? So I'm going to add this to it. Now, this, I don't know how you can see how this goes all the way up there, but I'm pouring that in. Now, what I do as a trick down here is I actually take the, I got this big jug, bought it at a garage sale actually, and I do recommend this for folks, is you take, I use an air stone is in the bottom of this. I'll just stand up and show you guys this. The air stone, all right, so this is the jug, and this is probably holds 2 gallons if I had to guess. All right, no, I just undid that. Now, it's live, so we're spilling water on the floor live, oh yeah. And so there, the water's spilling. I had it all pre-primed for you. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking this in here, and now that's running like that, so you guys can see that. So I've just got that tiny little drip. Now, why am I not? I'm Johnny Water Change Power Wash. The note, mess on floor, please note. Yeah. Now I'm Johnny Big Water Change. Now, why am I not doing just a massive water change on here? Well, the reason is simple. I have shrimp in here, and I am a firm believer that the cherry shrimp hate huge water changes. I'm not saying you can't get away with it, but they don't like parameter swings. Like the betta fish in here can totally handle it, but the shrimp cannot. So that is why we're rolling with this little setup like that, dripping it down in there. So I am gonna just top that off. It's good for a couple reasons. One, you don't have to worry about like temperature swings. Two, you don't have to, where's my coffee? I don't need coffee. You don't have to worry about temperature swings. You don't have to worry about like TDS swings or anything if you're doing it really low. you just kind of run like that. So that's how I roll with the shrimp. I just top off. Now in the greenhouse tanks, entirely different ballgame. I do huge water changes. I've got heavy plant loads, light fish loads, and I just go hardcore with that. But this is different. This is the cherry shrimp tank. A funny story about cherry shrimp. I had Josh was out of town, and he grabbed a big thing of potassium. He's like, dude, I can't find the TDS. So I found this right here, this big powder stuff. I was going to use that to mix with the TDS water with the shrimp. What he was going to do is going to dose heavy amounts of potassium into a shrimp tank, and totally would have killed all of my shrimp while I was out of town, like 300 shrimp. So he definitely didn't. I was like, no, dude, to use the GH boost. But anyway, so now I got this rolling here. I've got it dechlored, so now that's just going to top off. And I am digging that. I'll give you guys the tour. So it's hard to like film this though. I'll show you. I'll give you the tour around though. So look, I had a guy back at the Just Fish, now defunct pet store. He gave me one of these filters. I hope you guys can see it. I'm gonna turn around here so you guys. He gave me one of these. Now this is the new FLUVAL right here. This is the I want to say it's the 404. I have to pull it out. This is the newer version. He gave. I have an old. I don't have it over there anymore. But this one right here, these are awesome filters. I mean, like, this is the best canister filter. And he actually gave me one of these back in the day. He's like, I don't want your first experience with the canister filter to be a bad one. These are legit. So the input comes up to here, and I tuck it down behind there, which works really well. And then I've got the output over here. Now, the output is great. Now, you always want to have surface agitation. So you want to keep this at the top of the water level, and you'll notice it got a little quieter. Now what our friends at FLUVAL do is they make it easy. So if you want to have your zen time while you're cleaning, what you can do, and Brian taught me this, yeah, it was Christy. If you know how much money I was spending at that shop, that guy owed me one. So instead of having this like ruin the feng shui of the water change, you can take this little cap off the bottom here like this, and now it shoots it down. Now, I'm not going to leave that on long, but that's got the cap on the bottom. It's shooting that water there, so I don't want to cloud up the tank while I'm doing this live. So there you go. So now it's rolling like that. And then what I like to do is when I leave town, or I know I'm going to be gone a while, I'll lower this down. I'm actually going to try to raise it up just a little bit. So now it's running like that. So notice I got the duckweed out the kazoo in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually, well, I can't really do it with two hands, so I'm not going to do it. But I was going to scoop out some of the duckweed and show you, but it's hard to do. So I've got this running like this. And yeah, now you can see the boosted flanger from the top. So the filtering's all set all day. I trimmed some of the junk ass rippings. I mean, how great of a name is that? I trimmed some of that. That's going out to the greenhouse to grow in the skank tank. And then I got the boost underneath here. So that is the boosted philandra that I'm absolutely loving. You'll notice the boost is underneath the halide. I am running a metal halide on here just because I have it and the boost likes it more. This tank does come with the little LED sets. For what I'm trying to do, it wasn't quite adequate though. But somebody's asking what a skank tank is. A skank tank is one of my tanks out in the greenhouse that I just grow stuff in. It's not actually designed. So, oh, hey, there he is! And the fish that I was missing is in the mix. So, finally. All right, so here's the betta fish. Oh, shit. There it goes again. Look at that. See that? For you guys? The betta fish finally came out, though. So, that's good. Always have a towel handy. Happy wife, happy life, right? And the betta fish is out. So he was hiding. So here's the deal with this betta fish right here. First of all, I got him at the I bought him at the Aquatic Experience. Or no, I took him with me to the Aquatic Experience. I brought him back. Is this the California? I think I brought him back from Cali with me. And I brought him back, and then he was front and center the entire time at a trade show, which most people that bring fish to a trade show, they don't hang out. This fish was hanging out. So he was totally in front all the time. And here's the deal. I hardly feed him. He eats the babies of the shrimp. So it's pretty tight. So I got this like ridiculous shrimp right here in the front getting blown around. He eats the babies of that. Don't forget to hit the like. Thank you. Yeah, please hit the like. Please hit the subscribe if you aren't. You like the towels rolling there? So if I was a fish, I would be in that skank tank. Oh man. So yeah, this is actually, I try to not to consider this a skank tank. So I want to give you guys like the full outlook on this. So yeah, nice, you know, stand matches, the whole deal. Really digging it. There's my little tray. I always use these trays, are great for removing duckweed because you can like float it in there because it's got the little rim on, so you can float it. There's my net. And this stand wasn't too bad to put together either. But yeah, the betta fish is out. which makes me happy because I had not seen him in a while. So I'm super pumped that he actually came out. He knows on camera. He's like, yo, I'm on camera. So this is the setup with the water spilled all over it, but you get the idea. And no, I do not run CO2, although I am thinking about throwing this bad boy on there. I am thinking about adding this. I just haven't had a chance to, but this is pretty legit. I'm glad, well-timed question there. But I am thinking about adding this bad boy here. That's a beefy looking regulator, huh? And so what you do with these, I have one of these running out in the greenhouse. I actually need to show. But yeah, these are pretty slick. And what this does, check this out. It actually will hang on here like this. And then what you can do is just when you want to run CO2, you can run it like that. So that's kind of tight. But I actually currently am not running CO2 on here though, coincidentally. So I'm gonna take that off. But notice this is draining right here, coming down, no problem. And then I'll give you guys the outlook or whatever. So this is like the whole, like, you kind of gotta like bend around to see it. So the baby tears has grown in well. As far as maintenance, I would actually hack this down like really, really low, like as low as it can go, and then replant it. And I should plant it back up in there, but I just haven't had a chance to. I actually lost my aquascaping scissors, but then he's right there in the mix. So he's doing that. I'm gonna get to Q&A in a second. So I got that, and yeah, this got a couple different types of boosts. So I wiped the front for you guys. That's what you get when you get it live. And if you're liking this, do hit the like button for me. Do share it if you don't mind. And then look at this boost right here. Boost underneath the halide. Underneath is the halide. Looks like that. So I'm definitely loving that. See the sparkly crystal type stuff looking on it? Like, how fun is that? Something I don't like about it is this Java moss I got growing in here. I wish that actually wasn't in there, but is what it is. So yeah, these are rocks I collected myself. Bet it doesn't look happy. I mean, he's pissed. I probably just threw him on camera, but I can throw some food in for him. Wish I had some of those bug bites around. And here's what we're looking like today. 16 months later. Baby Tears could use a haircut, but whatever. Hit that subscribe button if you like what we're doing. Tank on.